maybe you understand to not have a fear of the word no. I mean, who really likes to be told no? Not too many people. I learned this a number of years ago from another sales trainer. And it kind of went something like this. He said, salespeople oftentimes are hesitant to ask for the order because they don't like to hear the word no. So what they do is they stall and they delay. What they often do is they try to build such a technical case to where when I finally pop the question, it's likely that they'll say yes. Well, actually, we don't think that's true. I say it goes back to 8th grade for me. Because when I was in 8th grade, that's when we finally had a junior high dance, when you finally got to ask a girl to a dance. But I mean, you know, young kid playing football, basketball, track, you know, I couldn't really handle the rejection of a girl telling me no, so I didn't really ask the girl. I would ask her friend. I'd say, hey, you know, is Susie, you know, I mean, I haven't decided who I'm going to take to the dance yet, and I just wondering if Susie's going to go. And what I would do is I would find out what her predisposition was so that it was really a slam dunk when I actually popped the question. Well, that's kind of how it was. And so you would wait and you would finally build so much information that you knew it was going to be a yes before you asked the question. I say many salespeople are just that way today. They think that they need to plant all kinds of technical reasons why it would be good for the person to buy. And the funny thing about that is you don't even know what those reasons are, because I've learned this. Customers buy for their reasons, not yours, and you have to know that as a sales lesson. So don't be afraid of the word no is what I'm saying. In fact, I believe, okay, as a salesperson, whether you're asking a girl out, whether you're asking somebody to do business with you, but as a salesperson, the most beautiful word you can hear is the word yes. Absolutely, that's what I'm looking for. But the second most beautiful word is the word no. And I'll tell you why that is. When you ask the prospect for the order, they never actually say no, N-O. They say no, K-N-O-W, I don't know enough to say yes yet. In other words, when you ask the prospect for the order, Mr. Prospect, would you like for me to go ahead and get your car repaired next week? They never just say no. They say no because ... and then they tell you what their stall or their objection is, or the reason that they don't feel empowered to say yes yet. In fact, they don't know enough to say yes yet, at least not now, because you haven't given them enough information. So now follow that with me. It's not spelled no. It's spelled K-N-O-W. I don't know enough to say yes yet, at least not now, because. So the most beautiful word that you're going to hear is the word yes. By the way, do you know how often that's going to happen? Statistically, according to the Myers-Briggs research that was quoted by Craig Arthur, about 50% of the time, if you ask for the order before you've ever written an estimate on the car, your customers will say yes. They will say, yeah, sure, what do I need to do? At some level, they will tell you, yes, okay, I want you to take care of the car. 50% of your current buyers will say yes. We can actually help you prove that statistically if you like. You can just start keeping a sales log. So that's just basically every single job that you write an estimate on, you just log it daily. But make sure that you have committed to asking for the order before you've looked at the car. And what you're going to find is 50% of your buyers right now will say yes before you've ever stepped out the door to look at the car. Now, how do you ask for that order? We're going to talk about that. There's methods and ways of asking for the order. You can't just, you know, you'll have to do what's comfortable. One thing you will not learn from me is a sales script. I don't want you to memorize my words. I want you to talk like yourself. One of my friends a number of years ago wrote a book called No Bull Selling. And he said the worst thing that you can do is try to sound somebody else that sounds like bull to people. That's why it's called No Bull Selling Approach. So he said, sound like yourself. Don't try to sound like somebody else. But learn to be courageous and ask for the order, because the most beautiful word you can hear is the word yes. The second most beautiful word is the word no. And you're looking for that no. And the reason that is because they're going to say no because The insurance agent said I needed to go get 2 estimates. Okay, so now you know what you're working with. And they will continue to tell you no because until that they believe they have enough information to say yes. But 50% of your current buyers will say yes. You know why that is? That parallels the Myers-Briggs research that 50% of the people walk in your door predisposed to be relational as it is. This is actually something that we get a lot of feedback on from people who've been to the class. I just had a fella, he was a smaller shop over in middle of Iowa, family shop, 3 or 4 technicians. He'd sat through the program and he said, you know, as you're sitting there talking about all that sales stuff, I realized I was part of the problem. Like for instance, when somebody would come in and they'd tell me that they had Progressive, I would immediately start telling them how Progressive sucked, or Allstate or State Farm, whatever the company was. And he said, I would become part of the, I didn't make their problem go away. I added to their problem by telling them how hard this was going to be. He said, after sitting through your class, I decided I'm never going to do that again. I'm just going to ask for the order. So he says, as he's driving home, he gets a phone call on his mobile phone, and it's a friend who had a new Lexus, and he had it damaged. And he said, what do I need to do? In other words, this is somebody that would have been a relational customer at heart. But he had this brand of insurance that this particular body shop was at war with. So he said, previously I would have told him how difficult it's going to be and how he was going to have to fight for his rights. And today I just said, how about if I just send a tow truck over to pick it up and we'll just handle everything for you? And the guy says, that's exactly what I wanted to hear. So he calls home, has somebody go get it, dispatches it. He said, by Monday morning I had a beautiful estimate written on the car. I called up ABC Insurance Company and I told them, look, I've got so-and-so's car in my shop. We're going to repair it. Would you like to come and look at it? And they did. He realized he was part of the problem. He was blaming this insurance company all along because, yeah, they did try to direct work elsewhere. But because he invoked a certain amount of TSA, total sales attitude, he was able to gain the job. And he was able to really take care of the customer. He wasn't part of the problem anymore. He was the solution. So when you hear this word no, from now on, it's going to ring true to you. It's going to sound a little bit like a gong. You're going to hear the vibrations where it's going to go, wow, this is a good word. I would have rather heard the word yes, but I heard the second most beautiful word, and that, my friends, was the word no.